Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's Up Wednesday. This is Brenda coming to you from Stamplicity, and tonight we're going to have some fun with a brand new collection from Uniquely Creative. All right, so before I get started, we're going to go through the collection. We'll be showing this tomorrow on our happy hour, but you get a sneak peek for those that are watching this evening of the brand new collection, Written in the Stars. This is a great collection. And of course, it is star themed, perfect for celebrations, perfect for graduation, birthdays. You can even do Christmas. You can make it masculine, you can make it feminine. And it's a fun and bright collection. So let's go through what is all in this collection and what we have available. I will tell you, I have things pulled out for tonight's class or tutorial or video. But I will tell you what is in each. All right. So first of all, this is Written in the Stars from Uniquely Creative. This is their December release. This is a 12 by 12 collection. So I'm going to open this up. I have taken some of the papers out, ones that I've planned to use for this evening, but I will show you all the patterns. All right. So this will include 16 double-sided pattern papers. You're going to get two of each of the design. All right. So you're going to have the insert paper, and of course on the back you're going to have some fussy cutting florals and stars, and then you are also going to get those lovely sentiment banners as well. All right, so here is one of the pattern papers with a bunch of stars on there. I want you to remember this one because I'm going to show you a die in a second that the die actually fits on some of these stars. On the back side is a lovely star pattern. This is not a super bright yellow. It's a nice yellow, all right? And then we have the reverse, which is a white background with the stars. And then we've got a great floral pattern. Then we have one of the cutaway sheets, all right? So you're gonna have lots of florals on there. You got these large tags there, smaller tags, and even smaller tags, and some little sentiments and such. Great gingham on the back. You can see the masculine and the feminine patterns on there. This one I absolutely love. It's kind of a distressed look. And then we've got like a chart paper, a grid on there. This is another fussy cutting sheet with lots of goodness on there. And then we have this design on the back. Then we have this word that says twinkle, twinkle, shine bright, my star, wish upon a star, reach for the stars, everything about stars. And they're in a nice white with gray print. And then we've got a great floral print on the back. Then we have this one that's got another floral print with mixed in with stars. And then we've got another kind of distressed look on the back. And the other one that I'm missing here, and I have pulled both sheets for a layout, is going to be this one here, which is these circles with the stars in there. And then we've got a gray and white stripe. So I love that there's a combination of masculine and feminine elements in here, perfect for all the occasions. All right, so that is the 12 by 12 paper pack, and remember, you're going to get two of all those patterns. All right, then they have the coordinating cardstock bundle. All right, I am loving that Uniquely Creative is doing this. So you will see that there are 5 colors in here. And if you're not familiar with their cardstock, it is pretty awesome. It is white core. That means it's white inside, but on each of the colors, I'm just going to pull one out just to show you. On each of the colors, on the front side, you're going to have the true color. All right, this is called tangerine. All right, so you're going to get that. And then on the back side, you're going to get a slightly lighter tone of that color. So you are actually getting 10 colors in here. Because you get the dark tone on the one side, light tone on the other, and you're going to get the 5 colors that match this collection beautifully. I'm going to raise this up, so you're going to get a yellow, kind of a tealy blue, orange, gray, and then black. All right, and you're going to get 2 of each of those colors. So that's a cardstock pack. So it's, I think it's always nice to have the exact matchy-match cardstock with a collection. Just works really well. All right, then there is a lovely overlay. All right, so this is the star overlay. I want to make sure I have that, the decorative base layer. All right, so we'll be using that this evening. All right, I love these things because it just adds another layer and texture to your projects. All right, so there is that. And then there's a fun stencil. Take a look at this. And I'm not sure if we're going to use this tonight. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep it handy in case I change my mind. But this is the Starlight Mandala background, all right? So it will actually fit on this lovely. So if you wanted to add a little bit of texture on there, that will fit on that overlay, or you could just use it in the background. It's got a beautiful star pattern, and then it's got this lovely mandala inset design on there, right? So there is that. And price on that is awesome. It's like $10 guys. So which is pretty cool. There is another stencil in this collection, and these are the mark making ones. I love these ones because they're like little bookmark kind of stencils. Great for adding texture in the backgrounds on your project, and you've got this kind of falling star look. So you have that one. All right, then the dies. All right, so remember that pattern paper I told you to remember? Okay, this one will fit on some of those stars on there. All right, so the larger one as well as the inner one will fit on there, so you can have you can cut all those stars out if you didn't want to fussy cut them. But this is a really great die, and I'm just going to bring it out because when it does the large star, it will cut it outline. All right, so you'll get that nice fine outlines. So this is cut from the large die. All right. And then the inside middle size die, you are going to get, this is what cuts out. So you're going to get that frame with that little pinpoint decoration on there, and then you're going to get the inside. And then the smaller one is just the star itself. I'm just going to poke one out here. All right, so there is that. All right, so there's a lot of bang for your buck with this star, and I love the fact that they did that little decorative edge on that middle star, which is really cool. All right, then we have this one here, which is the Slimline Starry Stack die. Again, it kind of mimics that same pattern as the stencil, kind of falling stars, but this is what you're going to get when you cut that out. All right, take a look at that. Isn't that awesome? It's hard to see. I know there's a lot of shadows going on. All right, so there is that. Put them all back in there. All right, so those are the dies. And then we have all the extras, all right? Oops, I forgot. There's a 6x6 pad in this one too. So all those patterns that you saw from the 12x12, you'll see that in here. There are 32 single-sided sheets in here, all mimicking those same patterns, just smaller. All right, so there is that. Then we have the Creative Cuts, all right, which is the ephemera pack, and always so much goodness in these packs. All right, so you can see Your Star, Happy Birthday, limited edition, Beautiful Soul, another happy birthday, wonderful day, lots of goodness in terms of sentiments. Then you're going to get florals, and you're going to get stars and some more wonderful stuff. All right, so there is that. Then this one here is the chipboard stickers. All right, and I love the fact that there's a little round chipboards. These are great little elements to tuck in here and there on your projects, your layouts, and your cards. Then an alphabet set. I'm so excited about this one. So these ones are the chipboard alpha stickers. All right, what I love about these ones, of course, they match the patterns really nicely with those oranges and the yellows. But you are going to get a variety of letters in here, all right? So there's not just one of each. There is a whole lot in here. And I know on our website, it breaks it down that you get like so many of this letter, so many of that. So you're going to be able to really use these over and over again because they do give you those extras, all right? So there's a whole lot in there. Then we have the enamel star. I love these. I love enamel dots. Well, they're not dots, but they're stars. Let me just open this up. All right, so all the colors in that lovely color collection. All right, so there is that. And then finally, we have the mini cut apart sheet. These ones are always great. You know, got to get the die for this one, everyone. I think we might be out of stock, but we are getting it on our next order where you just place it on, you cut it all out, and you're going to have all these into strips and ready to go. So again, there is a lot of different sentiments on there. The sentiments repeat, so you're going to get 4 of each. Thankful, happy birthday, have a great day, wishing you a happy birthday, I'm sorry, wishing you the best birthday, best news ever on your special day, or just a few of them on there. So it's a really fantastic mini cut apart sheet. Okay, so that is the new collection. And tonight we're going to do some layouts. All right. It's been a while since I've done some layouts, so let's go ahead and do that. If I have time, I will do a card, but I think I'll probably just do the two layouts for this evening. I've done some of the prep work in terms of doing some die cutting ahead of time. And we're gonna go forward. All right. So we're gonna make a masculine one and we're gonna make a feminine one. Just to really kind of emphasize that this is a really great collection that can be used for either or. So I'm going to just put that there. All right. And we're going to get started. All right. So I'm going to start with the masculine one. I think everyone always struggles with masculine layouts because I think in our industry, a lot of the papers and the products that are here are developed have more of a feminine feel. So it's always great when there is a collection that will work for masculine. All right. So from the papers, I have selected the one that's got the star, but I'm going to use a gray and I'm going to use the star pattern. And then I also have the black. No, the gray. No, this is black. Midnight. So, all right. So I'm going to start with cutting up the logo strips off of these ones. I have no really set plan for this one. We're just going to go ahead and do. Now I'm going to, oh, not this one. On my pattern papers, I save the logo strips because they do have patterns on them or words, all right? So the cardstock does not, but the pattern papers, you'll see that there is pattern on the flip side, all right? So they're just always great to have. All right, I like mixing my textures and such, so I'm going to keep that. Okay, and then my other one, I already cut the logo strip off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my black piece here. And this is just a great little tip on how to save paper when you're doing a layout. So I want this to be my base. I'm going to be layering those pattern papers on here. So there's no sense of me wasting this whole piece of paper. So I'm going to actually line my edge up to, I'm going to use my right-hand side measurements here to the 1-inch mark. And then I'm going to use the 1-inch mark on my actually measurement on my guard here. And I'm going to line my blade up there. And I'm going to trim. So I'm trimming 1 inch in on my paper, 1 inch down, and I'm going to stop 1 inch from the bottom. All right. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit because I see that you're not getting the full 12 by 12 in there. All right. So I think we're good there. All right. So starting at 1 inch here, stopping at 11. All right. So that's my first. All right. So you can see I've just cut a line, but it's cut in from 1 inch and I stopped from 1 inch. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and I'm going to do the same thing. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm kind of creating a frame. All right. I'm cutting an inside square out from this. So I'm not wasting this paper. All right. Because I'm going to be wanting it to use it for mats and such. So I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. All right. So I keep on rotating. 1 inch and 11 inch. And you don't have to be exactly perfect because we're going to be cutting. Oh, that didn't. There we go. Because we're going to be layering a piece of paper on here that's slightly bigger. All right. So don't you fret about that. All right. So I do this a lot. And if you've taken a layout class from me, sometimes we always incorporate this because it's good. So this piece that I just cut from the inside, we will not be using. All right. So we've got some real good real estate still here to use. So I'm just going to put that to the side. And then this is going to be our base. All right. I know it's flimsy. Don't worry. Okay. So I'm just going to put that to the side. And I think I'm going to, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to do the star on the outside. So this one here, I'm going to trim down. And I'm going to do 11.5 by 11.5. Okay. So again, this is great little border strips on there. So I'm not going to throw them away. So I'm just trimming a 1/2 inch from the top side and a 1/2 inch from the right side. All right. So now when I bring this back, this will sit in there and no one will know except me and you that we cut the inside out of it, right? And it's just a great way to keep that wonderful cardstock for another project. All right, so there is that. Okay, then we're going to take our gray, and I think I will do this. Let me see. I want to have that star pattern kind of really showing. Now, do I want, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to, all right, I'm just going to go with this, guys. I have no, let's see, I'm going to cut there, and I'm going to cut there. All right. All right, so what did that work out? So I'm going to do 9.5 that way. And then the other way is going to be by 9, 9.5 by 9. All right. Okay, let's do that. That's going to be my base. I'm going to hold these off for another project. I'm going to put my paper trimmer away. And let's bring this all together and get our base page done. All right. So I'm going to take my star pattern now. This is the one that was 11.5 by 11.5, and I'm going to stick some adhesive right along the edge. And then we are going to go ahead and adhere this down onto our black piece, the one that we took the middle out of. All right. So let's just make sure things are all even. So we just got to frame this in as best we can. All right, I think I'm good. Well, we're going to commit. I think I'm a little shy on the bottom, but that's okay. All right, so now we've got this great black border, and you can see the back side there. All right, so it looks like we've got that black piece behind it, but really we do not. All right, then we're going to take this piece here. And I don't know, I always like to justify to one side. You could definitely center this, but I love justifying it. And normally I would bring it all the way down, but because I have some of these strips in black and white, I think I want to leave a little area down here. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this. Now I know I'm not tucking anything in underneath this one, so I'm going right to the edge. As we go forward, anything that I tuck adhere down, I am going to bring my adhesive in a little bit in case I want to tuck things in. All right, so that is going to get lined up right to the edge and stick it down. All right, so you can see really nice masculine feel to this already because of the colors. All right, so we've kind of grabbed those grays and darker colors. So there's that. Okay, so for this here, I'm just going to grab some photo mats here. All right, so Uniquely Creative has the photo mats. You've seen me use them before. So I think I'm going to do, let's see, I think probably a 4x6. And let's do maybe, do you want a 3x4? Okay, I'm going to do a 4x6 and a 3x4 on here. I'm not going to place them down yet because I always change my mind, but I just want to kind of have kind of an idea of where these are going to go. You know what? I might actually grab another one. I always like, let me see, if I do this and this. All right, let's do 3 pictures. I've had some people ask, you know, can you incorporate more pictures on your layouts? Because typically I will put 1, maybe 2. So I am putting 3. See, I'm changing my mind. Maybe I'll do 4 just to make you all happy. All right. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna go with 4, guys. I'm just wondering. Changing my mind. Okay, I think I'm going to go something like that. All right. So this is housing 4 pictures. All right. So not so bad. I could actually probably add one more. I'm going to just leave it as is. And we're going to start putting some of these borders. I want to incorporate some of that black in there. So these are just some of the logo strips that I've cut off the edges of the papers that are in the collection. All right. So, and now we're going to bring in some of this black. I'm going to move things up. I'll probably change my mind on this, but it's just, so there's some really great black and white, and I think I'm going to kind of alter the lengths of these. All right, I think something like that. And then I'm going to take some of these little offcuts and I may bring them up here to balance them off. All right, so let's go ahead and start attaching these down. I have made them, I am going to just go up to the black edge. So I'm going to mark these and then I'm going to trim. All right, so that one's going to go there. That one's, oops, that one, let's cut here. This one here is going to be just a bit, this little guy there. And then this one, we're going to go even more in and let's go here. All right. Let's go ahead and trim these now. See if I can see my pencil marks. Use the cutting blade, that always helps. Uh-oh, I've lost my pencil mark on here. That's because I'm on the wrong side. Haha. All right. Again, I'm going to use these little pieces. Don't throw them away. They're just great little fillers, as I call them. All right, and this one here. And then we're going to go ahead and attach these down. Okay, I'm going to start with my larger one. And I'm going to throw some adhesive on the back. And remember, this is going to go right to the edge here. All right, so we're going to go right to the right-hand edge. And we'll stick that down. All right, so there is our first piece. And then I'm going to do this guy here. Whoops. I'll stick a little bit of adhesive on the back. And this one's going to overlap, but we're going to make sure everything is aligned to the right-hand side. Okay, then the next one. And again, this one is going to get overlapped on that first one that we laid down and aligned to the right-hand side. And our last one. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use glue on this one because I see some adhesive sticking out. All right. And okay. Oop, that one's stuck to my finger. All right. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so now we have those. I'm going to take these little guys and now I'm going to mimic that same pattern up on the left-hand side. All right, so I just want to make sure that this guy is going to kind of overlap the seam here. So I'm going to just kind of dry fit it and then we'll stick adhesive down and we're going to build that up on that corner. So it kind of balances it out. And again, now this is going to get lined up to the left-hand side. All right, so there we go. Okay, so now we have that nice balance of the black and white. And we'll probably, I'm not loving that there's a, like, this is so short and this one's so long, but we're going to put a star there and it will camouflage it. All right. So I think maybe now we should probably get our photo mats on. All right. So this will be our main piece here. So I think I'm loving that. For some of these, you know what? I'm thinking I might now just mat these in that black. As long as I have enough. Oh yeah, I'll have enough. All right. So let's mat these in the black to bring in that black. See, this is a great way of using that extra piece here. So these ones here are true to size. All right. So this says a 6x4 photo, or yeah, 6x4 photo. So I'm going to make my mats a 1/4 inch bigger. So grab my paper trimmer and we're going to do 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. All right, and then we also need 2 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So this is already 4 1/4, so we just need to make this 3 1/4. And then we need another 3 1/4. So I'm going to do 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I'm going to need a 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And that will be all our mats. So let's do 2 1/4. And I still have a little bit of black left. So just a great way to really kind of save paper. Okay, so let's just go ahead and adhere these guys on so that they all have mats. And these are my photo placeholders, all right? So when you use these placeholders, because I know a lot of people will do layouts and then add their pictures afterwards, it's up to you. You can cut your picture as a 2x3 or slightly smaller and you can still have that little bit of white showing, all right? So it's completely up to you, but I love these placeholders. And I'm super excited, and I know it's coming, but we have more of these placeholders coming in from Uniquely Creative in different sizes. So that's a little sneaky peek or information. But all right, so let's get all our mats on, and then we can start putting these on the layout, and then it's all going to be about the decorating now with all the fun stuff that kind of coordinates with this collection. All right. Okay, so let's put this on. So my first picture here is going to go down flat, and you'll notice I'm putting my adhesive in the center in case I want to tuck things in. So we're going to place this, and I'm going to kind of center it from top to bottom, and then whatever my spacing from top to bottom, I'm going to also put it on the right-hand side. All right, so that looks good there. I'm going to bring it right up to that stripe so we have no white showing. Okay, and we're going to stick that down. Now this one we're going to pop dot or a foam adhesive. We're going to pop it up. And this one here, so I want these kind of overlapping each other. I really like that kind of layered look. So since this one is going to be popped up, this one here is going to go down flat. So again, I'm just going to put my adhesive in the center. I'm going to have this here just for reference. And then I'm going to stick this one down. And again, I'm going to use the stripes to help me line it up straight. All right, so there's that. All right, now these two are going to get popped up and we're going to do foam adhesive on there. All right, so let's grab our foam tape. And again, when I put the foam tape on here, I'm going to bring it in, all right? Anyone that knows me, I love to tuck things, all right, fillers and such. So always bring that tape in. Okay, let's stick this on. And now let's get to the fun stuff, which is the embellishing. All right, so And then this guy, we're going to drop it down. I just want it overlapping this picture here, so I'm just going to right about there. All right, so there is our basic layout. All right, so you know, it's got a very nice masculine feel based on the patterns that we chose and the colors we chose. But now let's go ahead and have some fun with the fun little things we have in this collection. So I've taken the time prior to this to cut out some of the stars. So I'm going to start with that lovely star border. All right, so this one here. All right, which I love. I love, love, love this one. But I think we're not going to use it in its entirety. We're going to trim this in half. So I'm actually going to just trim right here. All right. And I'm going to stick this kind of in behind here. All right. So we've got that little piece. And then the other piece, I think we're going to use bits and pieces. Oh, maybe this way. Yes. Maybe not that way. Well, maybe. I think it's getting lost in the, I'm wondering if I put it up here, then it's not going to, okay, I think I'm going to go there. It was getting lost with the black and white down here. So we're going to go ahead and attach this down. Or do I? Maybe I won't. Let's get some of these other stars in here. We've got some of these other lovely, and I think these will work against the black and white. So I want to do a combination of the solid ones and pattern. So I want to create cluster. We'll put our title kind of in that area there. And then there's that star. See, I'll hide that there. So it looks like it might be a little bit longer. We'll just angle it. Then we had some of the inside pieces of those that we're going to be able to coordinate in here. Do I want, I don't know if I want to incorporate. I think I want to just add the yellow. So I'm going to take this blue one away. And I'm just going to grab one of these. There might be one in the actual other pack, the Creative Cuts that we might use. Okay, let me grab the Creative Pack. Creative Cuts, what did I do with them? We're going to definitely need those. All right, let's open up this here. I'm going to grab a little tray. And let's poke out some little fun elements here. So these Creative Cut packs, you always get 2 of everything in here, which is awesome. So there's more stars in here in different sizes, more of the little frames. All right, so I'm going to just go through this really quickly and pick out some of the elements. Oh, that's a good star. It's a little bit bigger than the one we've used. And I like these guys here, so we're going to pick them. There's a little star. I'm just going to pick a few out. I don't know if I'm going to be using all of these, but we definitely do not want flowers. Ooh, I like limited edition. I think that's a great title for this one. And do we have little black stars? Because that would make me super happy. Remember this day, we're doing that black and white theme. Great photographs, maybe that one, since we put more than one on. Oh, there's that little, that one's cute. Again, I'm just picking stuff that is kind of all black and white and yellow. There's so much in these. All right, I think I have found enough to work with. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side. And let's put this all together now. I think I have enough, and then we'll go in with the chipboard stickers. All right, so I'm going to start with this large star here. And you can cut this, or you can try to tuck it behind. I'm just going to cut it just a little extra big here. All right. And then I'm going to take this piece here and then we're going to just tuck this behind and I'm going to put some glue behind it as well. All right. So it's not really going to show too much, but it's just going to show that there is a star back there. All right. So again, we're going to do lots of layers. So this is just kind of a base. And I'm just going to tack down just a few elements or a few areas of the star just to hold it down. We're going to be placing stuff on top of it, so I don't need to really concern that the whole thing is down. All right. There's that. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue these guys down. Okay, that's tucked down, and we'll do this one. Now, I have my cut here, all right? That's where we cut it. I'm going to put a star over top of it, and it will camouflage that little cut line. And we'll just tuck that kind of in there. Okay. All right, before I put any other stars, I'm going to put my limited edition title on here. And I think, yeah, I'm going to stick another star in there. All right, so I'm going to pop up this with some foam tape. When I do this, again, I want to be mindful of where I'm putting the tape. I want to really kind of center it in there. Because, you know, I'm going to want to tuck a star or two behind it, so... But I always think you should get those focal elements on first and then fill it with all the fun goodness, right? So again, this is going to overlap some of the pictures. So when you go to pick your pictures for this, you want to make sure that when you crop your pictures, for this anyways, that your picture is shifted more this way so that the information or the part of the picture that's behind this is not important. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to okay, let's stick that on. You know what? I am going to stick my foam adhesive here on the actual layout so then I can just stick my star on it once I get it in position instead of fussing around with one. And then we're going to go into some solid stars here. I said I wasn't gonna, I had enough, but here I am looking for more. Okay. Tweezers. And I think I'm going to grab this black star and I'm going to put it right there. All right, I think I'm good with that. Okay, so again, I'm going to put my foam adhesive where I want that star, so it will stick on to my actual base, my layout. And then I can just stick it on and tuck it under where I need it. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a spot of glue. So I have this little frame here, the star frame. Okay, so that's on. So we've got our little title there with stars there. And then I probably will still put another star or two down here. Yeah, something like that. All right, just go with it. Want this angled differently from that star that's in the base, and then this one will glue on top. Okay, so I've got our cluster, I have the cluster done here. Let's work on this cluster up here. Again, I'm going to put a little foam square behind this one. It's going to camouflage that little space there. And like that. And then let's incorporate some of the other little stars. I always like to work in threes, right? So we have the big star, the small star, and then the little frame one. All right, so we've got that little cluster up there. And then we've got to put one over here, all right? So then let's do that one next. And do I want that? Yeah, let's go with that one. Do I want to pop it up though? Let's go for it. Let's pop it up. All right, so again, I'm going to place this where the star is going to go. And then I can place it. And now we've camouflaged that or covered up that cut edge there. All right, what else do I got? This one's a fun star. I lost it. There it is. This one I'm going to put right on my photo mat. And we have one more of these little frame stars. And all right, so there is our kind of star cluster. I'm going to bring that up. All right, so that's fun. Okay, let's move on to these little guys now. And always a great, these are just the wonderful little add-ins that you can just put in to enhance. All right, so let's get these on. And then this one is just about done. And then we're going to go ahead and then work on our more feminine one, where we'll incorporate some of the flowers. And oops, I think that's a little too wide. And then we had one more little element where it is. Remember this day. I'm going to go up there. And this is going to go down flat. Okay. Last but not least, is we're going to go into our little chipboard stickers, these little round ones. And let's go ahead and open up the packaging if I can. There we go. And again, I'm going to stick with the black and white ones because I think that's going to be the ones that kind of work really well. So I'm going to go this right here. Now, these are not super sticky, I can tell. So I am going to put a little extra, and we're going to now stick them in this one right here. And I love it because now it's going to brings a little bit of shine in here. And then we're going to grab this one here, and I'm going to put it up there. And now I'm changing my mind. I think I want that one right. Do I want it there or do I want it here? I'm going to stick it there. Oh, I didn't put glue on the back of it. And then this little guy that I took off, I'm going to put another foam adhesive behind it to pop it up even more. So as long as I'm not covering up. All right, I think this one is done. All right, so a real great masculine feel to it. Limited edition, lots of stars on there. 4 pictures. Look at me. All right, so there is our masculine. Now let's flip to the more feminine one. All right, so let me just tidy up just a few of the spots or stuff here. I always start off with a really nice clean workspace, and then disaster happens. I'm sure you all can relate. Okay, I forgot that I had these little enamel stickers too. Let's use those. They fell on the floor. Ta-da. All right. Do I want the bright yellow? Oh, those are really bright. I'm going to go to the more muted ones. So I think I'm just going to stick them here and there. And I have one more here, so let's put that right there. All right, now I can call that one done. All right, let's put that to the side. And let's now work on the feminine one. Let me just... Okay, so this one here, we're going to work with that lovely overlay. I'm going to use that. And then I have that lovely script paper from the collection. And then I'm also going to use the blue and the yellow cardstock, all right? So for this one here, I'm going to do kind of the same thing I did before with the whole trimming out the center. Because I like doing that because it just saves paper. And so I'm going to trim the logo off. And let's do this one here. We're going to do the same thing we're going to do at 11. So I'm going to mark it at the 1 inch. And then I'm going to start at 11, go up to 1 inch. And I'm going to cut the center out of this yellow one. Okay, so yellow is out. I'll put that to the side. We're going to grab that blue one now. And I'm going to cut off the logo strip. And this one here, I'm going to go in. Oh, first I have to trim it down. So we're going to do 11.5 by 11.5. And then I'm going to go in 1 inch on this one as well. Yeah. All right. So because it's 11.5, we're going to start at the 10.5 mark and stop at 1. Now, I know I'm going very quickly, but I think I explained this really well the first layout. So if you missed that, you're going to have to go back. Just a great way of saving that paper. All right, so now we've got that one here. All right, I'm going to put that to the side. And then this one here, I'm going to trim. We go 10.5. I'm going to go at 11. I'm going to go at 11. We always trim it down. But this is going to be our base now, all right? So 11 by 11. Okay, let's put this all together. So this is going to get framed onto here, and then we're going to frame this onto there. So we've got this two-toned look on the outside. So let's start with our pattern paper here. I'm going to make sure my adhesive goes right to the edge. And let's frame this in, making sure our spacing is all the same all the way around. Okay, so that's the first one. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one here. Adhesive right to the edge. And then we will frame this one in. Well, that's not straight. That's better. All right, so now that is our base, all right? And like I said, we're going to use this guy here. So I'm going to grab this out. And let's use that big mandala stencil, right? Let's show you how to use that one. So I'm going to bring that stencil out, and that's do a little bit of a decorative on here. So this will get lined up exactly. The inside will match up quite nicely on there. All right. So I'm going to just hold that in with the magnets because I'm working on my glass mat. So I'm just going to hold that on. And now I need to grab some ink. So I think I'm going to go with Daffodil from 49 and Market. I don't know where my yellow one is, but okay. I'm going to just pick up some of that ink and let's just go to it. Now, I'm just going to be very careful. I know I'm working on my pattern paper here. I shouldn't be, but we're just going to add that through. I'm being very careful not to get it on my pattern paper. And I'm not too I'm not too concerned if I don't get it right to the edges. It's just interest in the background, all right? So let's see how that worked out. Oh, look how pretty that is. That is absolutely stunning. Ah, I'm glad I did that now. All right, that's beautiful. Oh, all right. So pretty. Okay. Okay, so let's just start organizing this. Let's put some pictures on here. Let's do the more than one picture again. So I do want to start with a 4x6, and I think I want to keep that do I want to do 3x4s? I'm wondering if we do. No, I'm going to go back with a 4x6, I think. All right, I'm going to do two pictures on here, I think. I don't want to take away from that star in the background. I don't want to cover up too much of that mandala either. Let me just rearrange my star here. And let's see if this will work. Trying to incorporate more than two pictures on here. Okay, not loving that. I think I'm just going to do two pictures, unless I do a 2x3. Okay, right now I'm just going to concentrate on those two, and then we'll worry about, maybe I can fit another picture or two in here. But I think this is where I'm going to go. I mean, maybe I could be here all night, guys, just trying to figure this out. No, I like this as two, so we're just going to stick with the two. Oh, maybe I'll do three. All right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to stick with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these down. I think I'm going to mat these. Let's bring in a little, I'm going to do two on blue and one on yellow. All right, so these are using my offcuts. They are 3x4s, so I need to cut 3.5 by 4.5. All right, so let's do, no, 3.25 by 4.25, sorry. So I said two blue and one yellow. Okay, mats there. Let's put them together. I don't think we're going to have time for a card, though, everyone. Just saying. If I had maybe more of a game plan going in, I might have had time for a card, but we're just going to do the 2 layouts for this evening. If I get time, I will make a couple of cards with this collection, and we can always post them. Okay. So we're going to have our I want the kind of yellow one as the focal point. That one will be popped up, and I think something like that, because I like the little corners of that star poking out. All right, so let's get our star down. So for this here, I'm just going to really just kind of do this, the outside edge of this. Now you could definitely cut this apart and do, you could have it almost a kind of a layered look with it, which might be fun. Should have thought that a little sooner. All right, so I had it going this way. Let's just commit. All right, our base is on. Let's get our pictures on there again. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start putting these down. So this one here, again, I'm just going to put adhesive in the center. So this one I know is going to be straight. I'm going to move over just a little bit. And then this one here. Just commit to it. All right, and then the one on the yellow, we're going to pop up. So when I put the adhesive, foam adhesive behind it, we're going to be bringing that in. All right, so I'm going to push this just a little bit out. We'll fill that void in. All right, so there is our base of this. All right, so now let's get all the pretty stuff in here to make it more feminine. Okay, so for this one here, I have some of the stars that have more of the kind of flower pattern on there. All right, and this is where kind of the blue kind of came out. All right, so now we're going to just add some of these little lovely stars. Okay, I'm going to go into the creative cuts as well and just pick some stuff out. All right, so let's see if we can find a title now. Okay. Oh, there's a cute little frame as well. That one's sweet. Let's use that. And Beautiful Soul, maybe. See, there's some really great florals, stars with florals on here. So let's grab those. I should put them in here. And then I want to grab florals. All right, so we're going to really kind of, oh, there's another one. So I'm just going to grab florals and we will incorporate them. I'm not going to take them all because, you know, there's probably other projects I will want them for. So we won't be a hog and take them all, but you are fabulous. That would be a fun one too. I like that little bracket too. Okay, let's just start with this now. Okay, I don't know if I want to do, I might actually use the alphabet stickers, but will use the You Are Fabulous. I think that's fun. And I think, where do we want this here? I kind of liked it down here. So we're going to put another picture back down here. This one here, we're going to pop up. I'm just going to grab my smaller strips here. All right, and this one we're going to go overlap this, but we're going to put this one straight. Okay. Okay, let's just start putting this together now. All right, so again, this is a more feminine version using this collection. So I'm going to put the little You Are Fabulous, and I like the fact that we're going to put this on the focal picture. I call this one the focal picture because it's popped up. All right, so we're just going to put that on there. All right, now let's go ahead and add some of these stars. All right, so I really want to overlap some of this. So again, we're going to be using foam adhesive. Let's create some layers. So I want to get my stars down, and then we're going to add the florals. So I'm going to start with this big one. This big one came from the pattern paper, and I used the die to cut it out. You could hand cut them. They're all straight cuts, so it'd be really easy to cut those out. The decisions you have to make for placements. Can you see I stopped talking because I was concentrating. All right. This one I put a double pop on it, or double foam. Okay, so we've got a cluster going up there. This one here, I'm going to put any more foam. Okay, so let's put this one up here. And now we're going to need kind of a cluster down here. So let's see what we have left here. We have, that one's a good one. And I think this one here, I'm just going to tuck underneath the frame. Yep. Okay, I'm good with that. So this one's going to go flat. And now we're going to work with those florals. All right, so that's looking pretty fab. All right, now florals. So I want to kind of create a cluster of florals kind of in the center here. All right, and now there's another cluster here. And I think I'm going to bring this one up on the top here. All right. Okay, now we're going to work on the little florals here. So now this is just all filler stuff, all right? So we're just going to now place these here, there, and everywhere. These are two. I need my small ones here. This is always a fun part, right? Adding these the little stuff, the little things, right? Oh, what else we got? We got this guy here. And I'm building up, all right? So you can see I'm putting foam adhesive on there, and I'll put a closer up look of this. I'll bring it up closer to the camera. We have a couple more stars here that I might just fill in here. Some of these little frame ones. All right, so we've got a cluster there, cluster there, cluster there. Oh my goodness, this is looking awesome. All right, so now I think I'm done with flowers. I'm pretty sure I am. Let me see what else I got here. I think I'm gonna put one more little one. Down there. Okay, I think I'm going to be quit with the flowers. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at our little chipboard stickers, and there's some really great ones here. So, you are fabulous. We could definitely do a little heart, maybe not. There's flower ones here, so I think maybe let's incorporate the flowers. So I'm going to put one. Oh, I forgot to put glue behind it. You're going to want to put glue because I know that they're going to let loose after a while. So put that extra little bit of adhesive there. So I'm kind of just going to tuck this in. In there. And then there's another flower. Oh, there's 3. So maybe we'll use all 3 of them. A little bit of glue. I'm going to tuck this behind here underneath that You're Fabulous. And then there is one more, and I feel like it should go in this kind of area. So I think I'm going to I don't know if I want it there now. I think I'm going to stick it up here. Okay, now we've got those on, and they just add a little bit of texture in there. All right, so do we want to go in now with this, or do I pick? I think I'll probably look to see if there's something that will fit in along here from our pattern papers. So let me just look, because there's those cutaway sheets, and there was some titles there. So let me just see. Not there, not anything I want there. You know what? Maybe we'll just end it there, because not loving the titles. And I'm not quite sure if I want to go the route with the flower, this, because I think they're a little too big. So I think we're just gonna leave it. I love the fact that it says you are fabulous. And I think I'm gonna put a little floral there to hide the hole. Let's stick that on. And I'm just doing a last check here to see, because they have, oh, happy memories. That's a good one. Yep, I'm gonna go that down there. Anything else here before I say no more? Nope, I think all the rest are good. I think I'm going to end that there. All right. So here is our feminine one. All right. So I love that overlay base layer that we did with the stenciling on there. It really brings in some texture on there. This one here, we did not use, I was going to hopefully use this guy here, this stencil, but I think there's enough going on. So there's our feminine, and then our masculine. I'm going to bring that back. And you can see, same collection, just really fun that you can make it masculine, feminine, and for all the different, you could do it for birthday, you could do it for an anniversary, graduation. There's so much that you can do with this lovely written in the stars. So that's it for this evening for What's Up Wednesday. I thank you for joining me, whether you're joining me live or on the replay. Always been a pleasure. And until next time, everyone, we will see you, and have yourself a creative week.